Well, here we are, back in What's New in Creative AI January 2025 edition.
First edition, 2025. It feels like 2025 has already been around for a long time, so this feels late, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, lots of stuff has already happened, and we are recording this on Sunday, the 19th of January.
Yeah, we've got a really busy week, so I'm sure in between now and it's going live, there'll be some new AI updates that we miss.
You know how it is. Some new thing will come along and make all of this irrelevant, but let's try.
Anyway, we've got a super packed agenda anyhow, so we will roll in the new stuff next time.
So what is new in Creative AI?
So we thought we'd start with Google and Microsoft. They had been rolling out inbuilt AI in their sort of in the general office workspace packages that we use every day. That actually 97% of businesses use either Google or Microsoft. And they're rolling out AI as standard in those in their normal Google Workspace or Microsoft 365.
Yeah, so it seems like not enough of us have been paying for Microsoft Copilot or Google Gemini in our Google Workspace. So instead, they're making us have it anyway, whether we like it or not. So we're seeing AI go from an opt-in service that you choose to have to something that you now have to opt out of. And in fact, I think with Google, you can't even opt out of it.
You can't even opt out. I think what Google did, so originally you had to pay $20 more to get the AI stuff in Workspace. I guess the uptake was super low, so now they've added it in as standard, but now everyone pays $2 more for our accounts. I think that's from April.
Yeah, and Microsoft have kind of done do allow you to opt out. So they've put Copilot into all of their Microsoft 365, even their family accounts, and they do charge you a bit extra for it, but you can choose to roll it back to a classic account with no AI assistant.
So what does this mean? So we are Google users ourselves.
We are.
So this means that there's AI in emails, so you can polish your emails automatically within Gmail.
Mm-hmm. It's in your Google Docs and your Google Slides.
You can help you with slides. You can ask it to, I don't know, make an agenda slide for a slide presentation.
Yeah. Automatically create a table of contents based on the content of your slide deck.
You could use it, you might have a very long deck that you want to make into a shorter talk. It will help you summarize that.
Yeah, so all the stuff that you might use ChatGPT for to help you write a presentation or write a document, you can do a lot of that now directly within Google or within Microsoft.
Yeah, I think it'll be particularly good for like repurposing stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you want to turn something long into something short and vice versa.
So we haven't really had a chance to properly have a go with Gemini yet, but our experience of Microsoft Copilot is if you're used to using ChatGPT or Claude as a tool, it seems very clunky and slow.
Yeah.
So we will see how that pans out now that they're making it very widely available.
Yeah. But for us, I think the key thing here is like if we sort of take a step back and look at the kind of mega trend here, is that everyone is going to be using AI by default.
Mega trend is a great word, by the way.
And I guess what does that mean for the world of work?
Yeah, so, AI tools, we do a lot of surveys in the businesses that we go into, and probably still only somewhere between 10 and 20% of people are regularly using AI tools in their work. Now, suddenly, we're going to see everybody has access to these tools, whether they like it or not, and people are going to start using them. So I suspect we're going to see AI tool adoption increase quite rapidly.
Yeah, but not just that. Like, I mean, it is going to increase rapidly. But I think what we're going to see is that people might not know how to get the best out of it, and so it's still super important that even if you've got it on inbuilt, unless you know how to interact with it really well, you're not going to get the best value in your business out of it. So.
Yeah, those of you that have been on one of our AI activation workshops will know that, English is the new programming language, right?
Yeah.
You need to structure your thoughts, you need to give it context and data to be able to get really useful answers out of these tools. But, people have to learn how to do that, right? It doesn't come naturally, and it's not how people are used to interacting with computers. So although everyone will have access to these tools, I think it'll be a while before we see many people really feeling the productivity gains from them.
But I think once people have really got to grips with how to use them well, what it's going to mean is that where people spend their time in their jobs will slightly shift. The things that used to take people a long time will take less time, and perhaps things that, and then there'll be other things, for instance, some parts of research, for example, that we might have done more lightly, that now within a smaller budget we can do much more broadly and deeply because AI can help us do it. So actually what I think it might start to mean is over time is that job roles or job descriptions will start to shift because AI will mean we're spending our time in different ways. So for me, the key takeaway here is about as business leaders, we need to really start to understand that and be really cognizant of it. That AI just being freely available to everyone is going to slowly nudge people's roles in different directions.
And this is the AI transition underway, right? The disruption in the workforce is going to begin. And for those of you that have been on our AI for Leaders course, where we talk about the stages of AI maturity, this is what we talk about at that sort of stage 3 of AI maturity, where you're actually starting to change the shapes of your teams, reconfigure the shape of your business because of AI, meaning that what you spend your time on is different now. So, this is the first sort of real step towards seeing that start to happen. And, that's really going to play out over the next few years.
But the key thing is it's happening without us asking it to happen. It's just going to be happening anyway. So I think my call to action for everyone watching this is just to realise that, I guess.
Yeah, don't sleepwalk into it, right? No. Think about what this might start to mean for your business. Give people the skills to adapt. Give your business the space to think about this, to understand how your business is going to need to adapt.
Yeah, because once job roles start to shift, that means the shape and size of teams starts to shift, which means the shape of your organisation starts to change, and that can be super exciting and move innovation forward, but only if you're proactively doing it.
Yeah, so that's the sort of big picture with what's going on in AI right now.
Yeah.
But let's drop in now on something that's like just a really specific tool that's actually super, super useful. And that is Google's new Deep Research, which Emma's been having a play around with.
I have this morning. Like we were saying how actually we're slightly skeptical about Gemini as a sort of like a chatbot similar to ChatGPT and Claude. Personally, we prefer using ChatGPT and Claude for that kind of thing. But their very specific tool, Google Deep Research, is really, really interesting. I'm just going to get it up in front of me so that I can see a little bit, I can talk you through what I did. So Google Deep Research is it's a tool that you can ask it. It's like your research companion. It is actually the beginning of a sort of agentic AI, so it's an AI agent. And what it does is you tell it what the research topic is. It develops a plan, and then it goes off and finds all the research information. It decides for itself how best to do that.
And you get to, it shows you what its plan is going to be and asks you some questions, and you get the chance to modify that plan slightly and perhaps shift its focus on, whether you want to explore just a particular geography or just a particular timeline or something of that nature. So you have quite a lot of control about exactly what you get, and you get to talk about what format you want the answers in as well. Like, what's the ultimate purpose of this? Do you want a 2,000-page report, 2,000-word report? Who wants a 2,000-page report? And things like that. So you get to customize how it goes about the task, and then it goes off and does it.
It does it, but it's not like using ChatGPT for research, for example. It's doing it in slow time, and not slow time compared to how long it would take me to do it myself. But it is. So I set this off. This piece of research off a couple of hours ago now, I think, and it's still thinking about it now.
Yeah, so it's not like ChatGPT search where you ask a question and you get your results back 5 seconds later. It's giving us updates as we go along, but it says it's still working on some of this stuff.
Yeah, so we tested it on a topic that we know really well, so that we can see how good the research is. So Jules is a photographer. He's really interested in the history of the rise of digital photography and the transition from film photography to digital photography and what that meant for the industry. You can kind of liken it to what's happening with AI now with some creative tasks.
So we thought, well, rather than ask something that we don't know, why not ask about something that we do know, and we can see if the answers are any good or not. So what we've seen come back so far, it's actually picked up on quite a lot of the nuances of the transition to digital photography that took place in the 2000s, which I was part of. I was there. I was part of that change. So I know whether these things are true or not. And I would say it's picked up a lot of the things that I would talk about the resistance of some people to the change, about the creation of new roles, such as digital retouchers and digitechs on set. It's managed to pick up, the demise of dark rooms. It's talked about the change in fee structure as we moved from day rates to sort of project fees to cover things like editing and retouching that then became new parts of a photographer's job that didn't exist before. So it's actually it's picking up a lot of the nuance, and certainly a lot better than I would have imagined a ChatGPT search to provide for us.
Really, really well. Even things like the impact on pricing and profitability, can't say that word very well, for commercial photographers and,
I specifically asked it just to look at the UK commercial photography sector, thinking that was, if you're doing this kind of research for a client, you're going to need that sort of specificity. You're going to be able to specify a market, a niche that they're in. So far, it's still chugging 2 hours later, but it definitely seems like it's on the right track, and certainly is the kind of information that somebody who didn't know that topic would have taken them a long time to develop that level of understanding.
Yeah, and what it's going to give back to us, it's suggesting, is a focused report. And data visualization and specific case studies of commercial photographers in the UK, and lessons learned from that sort of industrial change and the trends that come out of it. So we didn't ask it for that specific stuff. We've told it in general what we want the output to be like, and it suggested that. So really interesting.
So watch this space, but so far it looks very promising. Bear in mind, of course, it can only access publicly available data. So, market research reports that are held behind the paywall of Statista and other and Mintel and others, it's not going to have access to those.
Yeah, and a lot of academic papers that are behind some of those too. But if you do have access to academic research, you can use Google Notebook LM. You can take that research and you could upload it to Google Notebook LM as a companion to Google Deep Research.
So almost, I think what we can see happening is Google Notebook LM becomes your sort of hub, right? And Deep Research becomes one of your sources. You ask it to go away and give you the 2,000-word report. You load that into Notebook LM, and then you can add other sources into Notebook LM. Maybe it is the Mintel research that you paid to download. Maybe you do put in a Reddit discussion thread to see, well, how are people reacting to this thing? What's the actual consumer sentiment around this stuff? Maybe you've got some sentiment analysis from social media as well that you can put in and combine multiple sources in Notebook LM with Google Deep Research being one of those things that's given all of that background and context. So I think these two tools together start to become really powerful.
Really powerful. And I think, with the rise of AI agents, so AI that can go off and do tasks for itself and come back, it shows that how being really specific, like with the use case, helps them be very successful. A lot of trials with sort of broader general use agents have come back that they're still quite...
they're quite flaky. Yeah, they get it wrong too often. And we've seen that with Claude's computer use demo, for example, where the agent was actually interacting with the computer screen and interacting with the application on the screen, but it's not reliable enough yet to do for anything important. But obviously, these agents are operating, within their own environment. But it brings us on neatly to the next thing we wanted to talk about, which is ChatGPT tasks. So, wherever Google goes, OpenAI is never far behind, or usually, in fact, one step ahead. So last week, OpenAI rolled out ChatGPT tasks. So in the run-up to Christmas, we got projects and GPT search for all users and other enhancements to ChatGPT. And now you can give it tasks. So what do we mean by a task in this sense?
I'm so excited by this. As a neurodiverse person, my life runs, I'm dyslexic and some other things. And
that has an impact on my life too.
And that means I have many tasks spread across many places and many different forms of lists that I'm always trying to optimize and find the best way of reminding me to do things, because my mind is like crazy source of ideas and I forget everything. So it's an interesting combo. But so I'm hoping that ChatGPT tasks are going to be great for me. So I've tried it.
So just so we understand what it is, you can essentially give a prompt to ChatGPT to ask it to do something, but rather than do it right now, you can schedule it to do it at some time in the future, or even have it repeat to do that task multiple times every day, for example, every hour, or whatever's appropriate for what you're doing, and have it tell you when it's got an answer for you, or give you an alert on your desktop to tell you that it's done the task and you can go and check the results.
Yeah, so I thought I'd try this, asking it to do a task that we already do a different way through an automation. So about 6 months ago, we worked with our friend Ross, who runs Affy Automations, to help us build an automation so that we had really relevant AI news about creative and marketing that was relevant to our sector. And we did that through a mixture of OpenAI, Claude, Make to join things up, RSS feeds.
So it was
very specific instructions.
Yeah. So while those are all sort of no-code tools, you don't need to be a programmer to do those things. You do need quite a lot of technical expertise, which is what Ross helped us with. And you also need a subscription to 4 different tools to be able to do it. You need your ChatGPT subscription, Claude subscription, your Make.com subscription.
Users tokens as well.
All sorts of stuff. So it's not particularly cheap to run. But what it did give us was it meant that every week we had a summary of the most important stories in creative AI that were relevant to our audience. And
Every day, in fact.
every day,
And it came
which
through to Slack,
allowed
that's
us and that allowed us to pull together our newsletter much more quickly.
Yeah, so that was super fantastic, and it did it in our tone of voice as well. So I thought I'd try the same thing with a ChatGPT task. So I said every morning, 10 a.m. GMT, search and summarize daily AI news in the following RSS feeds and websites, and gave it the same list of
the same list of
details.
websites we go to. So we've got about 20 sites that we check for what's going on.
And then I said, please apply this in 300-word summary form with the URL to the article, so I could go and find out more information. And it turned that into a kind of, it put it into its own language of instructions with a little, into a task, and it scheduled it 10 a.m. every day. This morning got the first one. Pretty impressive. It gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 relevant articles.
And considering yesterday was a Saturday,
Yeah.
which is, not usually a big news day for AI, that's impressive.
And then it gave me a summary of that news, and in terms of, it gave me a summary of the impact on AI and creative industries based on those 5 articles, and then global AI policy developments as well, and also gave me a synopsis of the advancements in AI research. So, I mean, I did very simple instructions for this, and I'll refine it and tighten it over time once we've had more and more days kind of evidence of how good this task is. I might ask it to write in our tone of voice, I might tighten up, lots of different parameters. But I think this is a really good start.
Yeah, this is looking pretty impressive. Yeah. And if I was the owner of Make.com right now, I might be thinking, yikes. So anyway, yeah, watch this space, but definitely give it a try. If there's things that you do on a recurring basis, then give it a go. We're quite excited about it.
Definitely don't think automations are dead, though. We use them a lot to join up the software that we use. So I think Make.com has quite a...
Okay, still got a way to go yet.
Yeah, I love it.
But interestingly, when we look at ChatGPT tasks and Google Deep Research that we just talked about, we are starting to see the early stages of AI agents emerging, right? So right now, these agents essentially live within a single environment, within the Google environment or within the OpenAI environment, and they can only manipulate data and other things that are in that world. But slowly, we're going to start to see agents that are able to manipulate other parts of the digital environment and switch between applications, moving data across applications and performing tasks to fulfill a goal that you've set it. So, fully autonomous agents are something that was heralded a year or so ago. We're starting to see the very, very early stages of that. And I think, given the pace that we now know that these things are developing, I think, perhaps a couple of years from now, we are really going to see autonomous agents that are able to follow a goal and do tasks largely autonomously. And clearly, that's going to have massive implications for the world of work.
Yeah, it is, for the economy, for for
all
job
sorts of
sectors
things
across all industries. And I think actually that's partly why last week the government issued their response to the AI action plan that they commissioned.
Yeah, so our next big story, it was hard to miss last Monday, Keir Starmer giving a big talk about trying to make the UK an AI superpower, I think he called it.
Yeah, I think it was meant to come out in November, but I think the US elections, all that stuff kind of, anyway.
Yeah. So what did Starmer announce? Well, 4 things really: trying to make the UK a hub for AI research and to make sure that the UK economy as a whole kind of reaps the productivity gains promised by AI adoption. So what's he done? First of all, he's announced a lot of funding to build compute power in the UK and build one of the world's largest supercomputers down at Bristol, which is going to be the Isambard computer. And
Go Southwest.
Go Southwest. And secondly, obviously, to build significant AI models, you don't just need the massive computers, you need massive data sets. And that's something where the UK may hold a bit of an advantage over many other countries, because the NHS is the largest centralized health service in the world and provides a very, very rich data set. Now, before you all get sort of worried that your doctor's notes are going to spew out in ChatGPT, what I would say is they are clearly going to anonymize all of that data. But it does create an incredibly rich data set over a long period of time across a large swathe of the population, which starts to allow, which is not just stuff scraped off the internet, it's real useful information about how people's health changes over time. And so that's quite exciting. They're also looking at creating licensable media libraries as well to train on text and image as well without infringing people's copyright.
Yeah, so there's a real kind of change in approach with the Labour government compared with the last government, which last government was more cautious around AI. And I think this government are really using it as an opportunity to stand out worldwide.
Yeah, so not just the investment in computing and data. The third thing they're looking at is AI skills adoption, and so we're not quite sure what form that's actually going to take yet, but they realise that to reap the productivity benefits in the wider workforce, people need to know how to use this stuff. Which is kind of what we do right now with creative and marketing teams. How do you actually get the best out of these tools, use them to improve the quantity and quality of the work that you do? And so, given how disruptive AI is going to be to the economy over the next decade or so, it's great to see Keir Starmer, going on the front foot with this stuff. I think he's the first politician of a major country we've seen talk seriously about the impact of AI on the economy and how you can start to prepare your country to be on the front foot with it.
Yep.
So that's great. I mean, given just how disruptive we think this stuff is going to be and how rapidly these changes are going to come, I think every country really needs to be thinking very hard about the changes to their workforce, how they can equip people to stay in employment and be relevant to their employers going forwards.
I mean, it's really big numbers. In the report, the government are saying they're expecting productivity will double within 5 to 10 years because of AI. That is huge.
Yeah, when productivity gains are normally measured in sort of terms of 1 or 2% a year, we're talking a doubling within 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, so yeah. So really welcome news there, but I think government are setting up the teams to lead this as we speak. So we'll start to see the actual tangible things that come out to support us to do that upskilling over the next few months and years, I would expect.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they're also trying to take quite a responsible approach to this, in that they've also put together an AI Energy Council to look at how do you actually power these massive data centers that these AI models require in a sustainable way. So again, we don't know what that looks like yet, but clearly they're thinking about how do you do this, using wind, using solar, perhaps using nuclear. We've still got 2 nuclear plants under construction in the UK right now. But how do you do this without increasing the UK's carbon footprint?
So reassuring government are thinking about it. Brilliant. Are they thinking about it fast enough? Let's see.
Yeah, so it was a big week in AI for the UK last week.
Yeah.
It was also a big week for Spark.
It was massive. Yeah.
Huge.
Well, yeah. So, do you want to talk about your Oxford debut?
Yeah, so on Wednesday, I took the train to Oxford, and after 30 years, I was back at university, but this time on the other side of the lectern. And I'm very excited and very proud to say that Spark's AI for Leaders course is now part of the curriculum for Oxford University Business School's AI in Business diploma, which is really quite amazing. So I spent a day at Oxford working with 60 executives from around the world, everywhere from the UK, all across Europe, Canada, America, China, Hong Kong, talking through why is AI such a disruptive technology, how do technology disruptions tend to change the economy, how to think about some of the things that AI is going to do to the economy and to businesses, and how to think about how they drive AI adoption in their own business. And a really interesting day, some super insightful questions from people in different sectors, different parts of the world, and a proud moment to be back at Oxford again after 30 years.
Oh, so nice, it's come full circle. So that's the part of the AI for Leaders course that Jules lectured on. there is part of our AI accelerator, which you'll see on our website. But we can do but we also run the AI for Leaders course separately as well.
Yeah, so it's really exciting to see our AI Accelerator program get recognised by one of the leading business schools in the world.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Really, really cool.
So you could be a part of that too, if you want, without having to pay Oxford University fees. And there is a lot of other stuff going on with Spark in the coming weeks.
Yeah, we've got lots coming up. So last week I ran a webinar with Girls in Marketing. I've got a couple more though in the same series coming up in February and March.
So that's a community of 400,000 women working in marketing.
Yeah, so cool. We did a sort of foundational webinar last week, and if you are a member of Girls in Marketing, you can access that recording for free, and you can also view the next couple as we record them as well.
And then we've got a couple of events coming up as well. So our AI activation workshop, which we know some of you have attended, we are running an open ticketed event in Bristol on January the 30th in the afternoon. Still got some tickets available, so you can, we'll put the link below, but you can also find it in the events section on our website. And we're also running a full day session in London on February the 6th, which will also be based on our activation session, but with a little bit of a guide to go forwards. This is on our AI leadership course, because it's aimed at leaders, and there'll be more time to network with colleagues and build your network and swap notes with others on how they're using AI.
There'll be also more time to ask questions with us one-on-one as well.
Yeah, it's a bit more of an in-depth session. So we've built it out to be a day. I think it's 10 till 4:30 rather than a solid afternoon, 1 till 5 p.m, which is what the Bristol one is.
And it's at the lovely Citizen M Hack site.
Yeah, so go to the events section of wearespark.ai and you'll be able to find all the details and buy tickets there.
Cool. Busy.
Yeah.
So,
anything else?
I think that's it. Let me just check my list.
Just loads of...
Yeah. It's just been announced also that we are headlining at Agency Hackers. The Robots Are Coming.
You thought we were going to say Glastonbury, but it's The Robots Are Coming, which in our world is actually more important.
Yeah, we're so chuffed and we love Agency Hackers.
So if you don't know Agency Hackers, they're a brilliant community of independent agencies across the creative spectrum, and they hold numerous events over the year to help people grow their agencies. And their AI-focused event called The Robots Are Coming is in London at the British Library in March.
On the 18th of March.
On the 18th of March. And so if you're a leader of your agency and you want to stay ahead with what's happening in AI in agency world, then it really is a must-go event. And again, we'll link to how you can buy tickets on our website. We'll post it as an event on our website on the events page, and you can click through to buy tickets from Agency Hackers.
Yeah. So we're going to be up first, but we're going to be there all day because it's such an amazing lineup. We've got Heather Murray on after us, I think.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll give some super practical...
Yeah, Kate Ross will be on talking about driving an AI forward culture in your agency, and her agency 8x4 have built a brilliant AI tool themselves, and there will be lots and lots to learn from people right at the cold face of AI in the creative sector.
So if you're going, reach out. We'd love to say hello while we're there. I think that is it now.
That really is good. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.